The stellar seeker drifted through the Orion Nebula's outer rim, its sensors probing the glittering dust clouds for valuable salvage. Captain Zixtel stood on the bridge, her crystalline form refracting the starlight as she studied the navigation displays. The Luminian captain had built her reputation on finding the most profitable salvage in the least likely places, but today's discovery might be her greatest yet. "Captain, you need to see this." First Officer Krell's tentacles rippled with excitement as he manipulated the holographic display. "We're picking up a massive metallic signature in Sector 7. Zixtel's crystalline features sparkled as she moved to examine the readings. "Show me." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a massive silhouette against the nebula's swirling colors. As the stellar seeker's lights illuminated the object, the bridge crew fell silent. Before them floated a warship of clearly human origin, its angular hull marred by ancient battle scars. "Fascinating," Chief Engineer Vex muttered, his scaled fingers dancing across his console. "According to these readings, this vessel dates back to the Exodus era, when humans supposedly fled known space." He chuckled, a dry rasping sound. "Look at this primitive design. No quantum shielding, no neural interfaces, not even basic consciousness integration." The bridge crew shared knowing looks. Everyone in the galaxy had heard tales of humanity's supposed technological prowess before their mysterious departure centuries ago. But looking at this relic, it seemed those stories were greatly exaggerated. "Well," Captain Zixtel's voice chimed like crystal bells. "Primitive or not, there's enough rare metals in that hull to fund our operations for a standard year. Begin salvage procedures." As the crew prepared their cutting beams, Medical Officer Dr. Park spoke up, her feathered crest rising with concern. "Captain, shouldn't we follow first contact protocols? Even if it's abandoned, this is still a human military vessel." Vex laughed again. "Protocols? For this museum piece? Look at it. It's practically pre-spaceflight technology. The humans themselves would probably thank us for recycling it." The captain considered this for a moment, her crystalline form pulsing with thought. "Log it as derelict salvage, standard procedures. Humanity abandoned this sector centuries ago. They clearly didn't want it." As the stellar seeker moved into position, none of its crew noticed the subtle power readings beginning to fluctuate deep within the human vessel. They didn't see the ancient systems starting to hum to life, or the faint blue glow that began to emanate from what they had dismissed as decorative hull markings. The cutting beam lanced out, its energy designed to slice through even the toughest modern alloys. When it touched the human ship's hull, something unexpected happened. Instead of cutting through, the beam seemed to scatter, creating a spectacular display of refracted energy. "Impossible," Vex muttered, adjusting the beam's frequency. "This hull, it's adapting to the energy signature, but that would require..." Before he could finish, a deep vibration rumbled through both ships. The human vessel's hull began to ripple like liquid metal, the battle scars healing themselves before the astounded crew's eyes. Lines of blue energy pulsed across its surface in geometric patterns that spoke of technological sophistication far beyond anything they had imagined. A voice echoed through their communication system, deep and resonant. "Unidentified vessel, UAV acte, Tahi Heavy Defense Protocols of VDA Terran Federation Warship HFY, ERA. Hold on. CEs, all hostile HCTYONs, IMEDA. The crew stood frozen as massive weapon ports opened along the vessel's hull, revealing systems that defied their understanding of physics. Captain Zixtel realized with growing horror that they hadn't found a relic. They'd awakened a sleeping giant. "All those stories about human technology," Dr. Park whispered, her feathers trembling. "They weren't exaggerated at all, were they?" The Hyperion's response came not in words, but in a display of technology that would reshape their understanding of humanity forever. "By the eternal stars, what is happening?" Captain Zixtel's crystalline form pulsed with alarm as the Hyperion's systems continued to activate. The once dormant warship now blazed with power, its hull gleaming as if freshly forged. Vex's scaled hands flew across his console, his earlier mockery replaced by professional focus. "Captain, these readings, they're unlike anything in our database. The hull isn't just repairing itself, it's evolving, adapting to modern scanning frequencies. It's as if the entire ship is one massive quantum computer." The Hyperion's AI spoke again, its voice carrying undertones that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of space-time. "CAN complete. Vessel ID NTIFID. Stellar Seeker. Truerige CLVG operation. Crew. Civien. Threat LEVL. Minimal." There was a pause that seemed to stretch for eternity. "NITYAT first QONHINTAKIT PROTOXOLS." A beam of light materialized on the Stellar Seeker's bridge, coalescing into a holographic figure. The crew gasped. It was a human, or at least a perfect representation of one. The hologram wore what appeared to be a military uniform, its bearing proud but not threatening. "I am Era, Advanced Recursive Intelligence Assistant of the Terran Federation Warship Hyperion," the hologram announced. "Your attempt to salvage this vessel has initiated our reactivation protocols. However, your actions appear to stem from ignorance rather than malice." Dr. Park stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overcoming her fear. "How is this possible? The power requirements alone for such a sophisticated AI system." Araya smiled, a surprisingly human gesture. "Your confusion is understandable. Humanity's apparent technological regression before our departure was deliberate. What you see now is merely a fraction of our true capabilities." The hologram waved a hand, and suddenly the bridge was surrounded by technical displays showing the Hyperion's internal systems. The crew watched in awe as layers of technology far beyond their understanding revealed themselves. "What you perceived as primitive armor is actually a shell of programmable matter," Arayat explained. "The basic weapon systems you scanned are merely the outer defense layer. The Hyperion isn't just a warship, it's a seed ship capable of rebuilding humanity's most advanced technology from base elements." Captain Zixtel's crystalline form shifted with uncertainty. "But why? Why hide such advancement? Why leave known space at the height of your civilization?" Araya's expression grew serious. "Because we detected something coming. Something that threatened not just humanity, but all sentient life. We didn't abandon the galaxy, Captain. We've been preparing to defend it." Suddenly, alarms blared across both ships. Krell's tentacles writhed as he checked his instruments. "Captain, multiple objects emerging from hyperspace. Energy signatures unlike anything I've ever." The space around them twisted as massive shapes began to appear, organic yet mechanical, beautiful yet horrifying. Araya's hologram straightened, its expression grim. "They're here earlier than projected," the AI announced. "Captain Zixtel, your crew has inadvertently stumbled into a war that's been brewing for centuries. The choice is yours. You can retreat to safe space, or you can stand with us against what comes." The crystalline captain looked at her crew, seeing the mix of fear and determination in their faces. Their simple salvage operation had turned into something far more significant, a moment that would reshape galactic history. "We've mocked and dismissed humanity's legacy," Zixtel said, her voice resonating with newfound resolve. "Perhaps it's time we learned from it instead." She turned to Araya. "Tell us what you need us to do." The Hyperion systems pulsed with power as more weapon systems activated, each more advanced than the last. As the unknown threat drew closer, Araya's hologram nodded in approval. "Welcome to the awakening, Captain. Let me show you why humanity never needed to boast about our capabilities. We simply kept them in reserve for moments like this." The battle that would reshape the galaxy's understanding of humanity was about to begin. The alien vessels writhed through space like living nightmares, their biomechanical forms defying conventional physics. The Stellar Seeker's sensors struggled to maintain lock on their ever-shifting forms. Multiple hostile entities detected, Krell announced, his tentacles coiling tightly against his body. They're not matching any known configurations in our database. Aria's hologram stood calm amidst the chaos. They wouldn't be. These are the metamorphs, beings that exist partially outside normal spacetime. We encountered their scouts centuries ago. That's when we knew we had to prepare. The Hyperion's hull continued its transformation, layers of what had appeared to be battle damage peeling away to reveal sophisticated weapon systems. Crystalline structures emerged from hidden ports, their facets gleaming with contained energy. What we're about to show you, Aria said, represents the pinnacle of human military technology. Captain Zixtal, I need your ship to maintain its current position. The Hyperion will create a defensive envelope around both vessels. Space itself seemed to ripple as the human warship activated its true defenses. A lattice of quantum fields materialized around both ships, each layer more complex than the last. The approaching metamorphs released a barrage of energy weapons that bent and twisted through multiple dimensions. Impossible, Vex exclaimed as the attacks hit the Hyperion's shields. Instead of impacting or being deflected, the energy was absorbed, channeled, and redirected through the crystalline structures that had emerged from the hull. Human engineering operates on a fundamental principle, Ariel explained as the Hyperion's weapons charge. We don't fight against the laws of physics. We work with them, bend them, make them serve our purposes. The metamorphs never understood this. They tried to break reality. We learned to shape it. The first counterattack from the Hyperion was unlike anything the alien crew had ever witnessed. Beams of coherent light split into thousands of smaller beams, each targeting a specific weak point in the metamorph vessel's structure. Where the enemy's biological technology tried to adapt, the beams adjusted faster, their targeting algorithms predicting and countering each adaptation before it fully formed. Dr. Park's scientific equipment was nearly overloading as she tried to analyze what she was seeing. The Hyperion, it's not just fighting them. It's learning, evolving its strategies in real time. This isn't just advanced technology. It's something else entirely. This, Aria said with quiet pride, is why humanity chose to wait, to watch, to prepare. We knew conventional weapons wouldn't be enough. We needed technology that could match their ability to adapt, to change, to evolve. Captain Zixtal watched in awe as the battle unfolded across multiple dimensions. The metamorphs' attacks became increasingly desperate as they discovered that every tactic they employed was met with a countermeasure that seemed to have been designed specifically to defeat it. Your weapons, she observed, her crystalline form refracting the light of the battle. They're not just destroying them. They're unmaking them somehow. Quantum destabilization fields, Aria confirmed. If they want to exist partially outside normal spacetime, we'll show them exactly why that's a dangerous proposition. Human scientists spent centuries perfecting this technology, ensuring it would affect only specific quantum signatures. The battle reached its crescendo as the Hyperion unleashed its full arsenal. Space itself seemed to fold around the metamorph vessels, their otherworldly forms collapsing in upon themselves as the human warship's weapons systematically dismantled the very principles that allowed them to exist. As the last enemy vessel imploded, leaving behind only rapidly dissipating quantum particles, a deep silence fell over both bridges. The crew of the Stellar Seeker stood in stunned silence, their understanding of humanity's technological capabilities completely transformed. That, Aria said softly, was just one ship, one seed of humanity's legacy, planted among the stars. There are others out there, waiting, watching, preparing. The metamorphs thought they could overwhelm us with their otherworldly technology. They never understood that humanity's greatest strength isn't our weapons or our shields. What is it then? Dr. Park asked, her feathers quivering with barely contained curiosity. Our ability to learn, to adapt, to take the impossible and make it not just possible, but inevitable. Now, the AI's hologram turned to face Captain Zixtel. Shall we discuss why your people might want to reconsider their assessment of primitive human technology? Captain Zixtel's crew worked alongside AI, integrating their salvage ship systems with the Hyperion's quantum network. The battle had left them shaken but alive, and with a profound new respect for human engineering. More metamorph signatures detected, Krell announced, his tentacles moving with newfound confidence across the enhanced control systems. 3 vessels, larger than the previous group. They appear to be capital ships. They're learning, RIA observed. The scout group's defeat has prompted them to commit more significant resources. The AI's hologram turned to Captain Zixtel. Your ship's energy systems have been upgraded with our quantum interfaces. Are you prepared to demonstrate why underestimating seemingly primitive species is unwise? The crystalline captain's form pulsed with determined light. After what we've witnessed? Absolutely. Crew, battle stations. The metamorph capital ships emerged from hyperspace like twisted leviathans, their biomechanical forms spanning kilometers. They immediately launched swarms of smaller craft, each one a nightmarish fusion of organic and technological components. They think numbers will overwhelm us, Araya said calmly. A common misconception about human military doctrine. Vex, activate the point defense grid we install on your ship. The scaled engineer's eyes widened as new weapons emerged from the Stellar Seeker's hull, gifts from the Hyperion's manufacturing systems. When the swarm approached, the salvage vessel's new defenses came alive. Precise beams of quantum-entangled particles cut through space, each shot finding its mark with impossible accuracy. Impossible, Vex whispered, watching his targeting displays. The computational power required for this level of precision is being handled by a small fragment of the Hyperion's auxiliary systems, Araya completed. Consider it a taste of what humanity achieved when we stopped showing off and started focusing on actual innovation. The capital ships launched their main assault, reality warping beams designed to tear apart the fabric of space-time itself. But where these weapons struck the combined defense screen of both ships, they found something unexpected. Adaptation. You see, Araya explained as the shields absorbed and reformed. Humanity learned early that the best defense isn't an impenetrable wall. It's a system that learns, adapts, and grows stronger with each attack. Like life itself, the Hyperion's response was devastating in its elegance. Instead of matching the enemy's reality-warping weapons with raw power, it turned their own tactics against them. Quantum fields precisely calibrated to the metamorph's own technology created zones of altered physics around their ships. Watch closely, ARIA instructed as the battle unfolded. This is why humanity's apparent withdrawal wasn't a retreat, it was preparation. The metamorph capital ships found their biomechanical systems fighting against themselves as the altered space around them rewrote the rules they relied on. Where they tried to exist in multiple dimensions, they were forced into linear spacetime. Where they attempted to adapt, they found their adaptations predicted and countered before they could form. Dr. Park's scientific instruments were recording everything, her feathers trembling with excitement. The complexity of these operations, you're not just fighting them, you're rewriting the fundamental rules they operate on. Humanity's greatest weapons were never our guns or bombs, Araya said as the capital ships began to break apart under their own twisted physics. It was our understanding of the universe itself. The metamorphs thought they could break the rules. We learned to write new ones. As the last enemy vessel imploded, leaving behind only quantum echoes, Captain Zixtel turned to Araya's hologram. Why show us all this? Why trust us with these secrets? Araya's holographic form smiled. Because the galaxy needs to understand. Humanity didn't abandon our allies. We became their hidden guardians. And now, thanks to your salvage attempt, that role can finally become active once again. The Hyperion systems pulsed with renewed energy, and in the distance, more quantum signatures began to appear, other human seed ships, awakening from their centuries-long wait. The real question, Arias said, is whether the galaxy is ready for humanity's return. Looking at the aftermath of the battle, at the way her own primitive salvage vessel had been transformed into something approaching the impossible, Captain Zixtal knew the answer would reshape the universe. The news spread across the galaxy like a quantum wave. Humanity had never truly left. They had been there all along, watching, waiting, protecting. The Stellar Seeker's logs of the battles against the Metamorphs became the most studied documents in modern history. Captain Zixtal stood before the Galactic Council, her crystalline form reflecting the light of 1,000 worlds' representatives. The massive chamber hummed with tension and anticipation. Honorable Council, she began. 3 standard weeks ago, my crew attempted to salvage what we thought was a primitive human warship. We were wrong. Not just about the ship, but about everything we thought we knew about humanity. The chamber's holographic displays showed the Hyperion, now fully awakened, its hull gleaming with technologies that defied conventional understanding. Alongside it, dozens of other human seed ships had emerged from their hiding places throughout the galaxy, each a testament to centuries of hidden preparation. The threat these ships were built to counter, Zixtal continued, was real. The Metamorphs would have consumed our reality, twisted it until nothing recognizable remained. Humanity saw this coming centuries ago. Instead of warning us, instead of causing panic, they prepared. They seeded our galaxy with guardians. Arias' hologram materialized beside the crystalline captain, causing murmurs of surprise and awe throughout the chamber. The Terran Federation never sought dominion, the AI announced. We sought preservation, not just of humanity, but of all sapient life. The AI gestured, and the chamber filled with displays showing the true scope of human advancement. Quantum engineering that could rewrite local physics, adaptive technologies that learned and evolved, and defenses that could counter threats operating outside normal spacetime. But most importantly, ARIA continued, we bring a choice. Humanity could return openly now, demonstrate our full technological superiority. Instead, we offer partnership. What we built to protect the galaxy, we wish to share with the galaxy. Dr. Park stepped forward, her feathers now adorned with symbols marking her as a lead researcher in the new Joint Science Initiative. We've already begun adapting human quantum technology for use by other species. The principles are universal. We just never thought to look at them the way humanity did. Vex, his scales now bearing the marks of both salvage engineer and quantum specialist, activated a demonstration. Above the council chamber, a small device reconstructed itself from base particles, showcasing the fundamental principles of human engineering. They hide their greatest achievements in plain sight, he explained. What we thought was primitive armor was actually programmable matter. What we dismissed as basic weapons were gateways to understanding quantum manipulation. Every primitive human design contains the seeds of something greater. The council chamber erupted in discussion. Representatives from 1,000 worlds debated the implications, but the decision, when it came, was unanimous. The galaxy would accept humanity's offered partnership. There will be those who fear this change. Captain Zixtal addressed the council one final time. Those who, like my crew once did, might mock what they don't understand. But remember, humanity's greatest strength was never their technology. It was their patience, their foresight, their willingness to be underestimated if it served a greater purpose. Aria's hologram smiled. And now that purpose is fulfilled, the Guardians need not hide any longer. The seeds humanity planted among the stars can finally bloom. As the council session ended, Captain Zixtal watched her ship through the chamber's massive windows. The Stellar Seeker was no longer a simple salvage vessel. Like humanity's influence on the galaxy, it had transformed into something far greater, a bridge between what was and what could be. You know, she said to Aria, when we first found the Hyperion, we thought we were discovering a relic of the past. And instead, the AI asked, though it already knew the answer. Instead, we found the future. Above them, More human seed ships emerged from their long wait, each carrying within them the legacy of a species that had chosen to become the galaxy's hidden guardians. Humanity hadn't abandoned the stars, they had become their silent protectors, waiting for the day when the galaxy was ready for the truth. That day had finally come.